Hello, I hope you are very well. I've got some massive stories for you today. William and Catherine were married 14 years ago to the day. I'll give you the inside story on how they're celebrating and the highs and lows of their extraordinary union, and most importantly, what the future holds. But first, in a move that royal insiders have told this programme has left Prince Harry apoplectic with rage, Meghan Markle once again blatantly ignores royal protocol by sending a jar of her worthless jam that no one wants, alongside a monogrammed note signed, wait for it, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. She is not Her Royal Highness. If we're being accurate, and the Mark Dolan show is all about accuracy, she is in fact Her Non-Royal Lowness. Harry knows that using HRH is wrong. He knows it's not allowed. He's overwhelmed, I'm told, with embarrassment and anger, but there's nothing he can do, as his highly manipulative wife has achieved complete and total control over the man that she likes to call my husband. I call him H. Why do I call him H? Why do I refer to him as my husband? Because I wish to control him. Of course. If you deduct the other letters from his name, you are belittling the guy. You're putting him in his place, aren't you? He's not Prince Harry, son of King Charles and the late Princess Diana. He's H, just another Meghan accessory. So she's used the HRH title, Her Royal Highness, on a monogram note attached to a gift basket sent to her friend, the entrepreneur Jamie Kern Lima. The note read, with compliments from HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. Now, this is a total contravention of an agreement made with the palace in 2020 when these selfish brats decided that they wanted independence, freedom, and privacy. The great irony is that just in the last 24 hours, this programme has reported that Harry is feeling more isolated, imprisoned, and purposeless than he ever has. Be careful what you wish for, big guy. So in 2020, when the couple decided that they wanted to get rid of their royal duties, move to North America, the palace was so generous, so typically generous, by saying, well, look, in principle, we should remove HRH, Her Royal Highness, His Royal Highness. But that would be a little inelegant to strip you of those particular words. So what we're going to do is we're going to politely ask you not to use HRH, and that way we don't have to have the kind of very public flogging, you know, the great sort of ignominy that the titles are removed. Let's just have an unspoken agreement that you won't use HRH. Now, that is what I would call British discretion. This is the United Kingdom. I live in front of the River Thames. As you can see, I might go for a dip later. It's quite warm today. Whew. Anyhow, the bottom line is that the UK, Britain, has this wonderful tradition of discretion, you know, where it's left to the wise judgment of people to say, you know something, according to the rules, we should do X, but based upon politeness and everyone's dignity and just a good way of doing business, we're going to go for Y. We should do X, we will do Y. The Brits are not rigid. They are discreet, they're polite, they're dignified, they're respectful. All of the things that my husband is not. I mean, if Harry's angry, my head's about to fall off with fury at this woman for breaching that unspoken contract. And you see, this is where the palace were naive, because she's a bully. She's a dictator. You don't negotiate with extremists. Okay, ask any diplomats, ask any politician. You don't negotiate with extremists. And that's what Meghan is. She's outrageous. So anyway, can you believe that she's torn up this agreement? And what they should have done is strip the couple of all the titles and had an act of parliament to remove the Sussex title as well and just be done with all of it. That's what they should have done. The palace have been too good to this couple for too long, too polite, too understanding, too tolerant, and it's got to stop. I don't think it will stop under King Charles because he's a soft sod. He's a big, fluffy little, you know, what is he? He is a big basket of emotions, is Charles. He's too kind. He's too generous. He's too human-spirited for his own good. I'll tell you someone that's got a little more ice in his blood, and that's Prince William. Prince William's got a little ice in the blood. He has a metaphorical knife in the sock. And when he becomes king, woe betide Prince Harry for breaking any more of these agreements. Life's going to be very uncomfortable for H, my husband, and Meghan Markle when William becomes king. It is going to be uncomfortable. And you and I are going to enjoy every moment. But unfortunately, Chaz, is a bit of a pushover. He's been too nice. And what has his reward been? Insulted and mocked by Meghan Markle, who, by the way, knows exactly what she's doing. Using HRH. It's not a mistake. It's written down. She's written it down. It's printed out on these ridiculous monogrammed note. She's got far too much time on her hands, so she writes all these notes with her little calligraphy pen. I got my calligraphy and my little scary notes. I write notes to everybody. And I write emails to my children that they won't see until they are 18 years of age, and they will declare their love for their mother, who is the greatest mother the world has ever seen. Well, Meghan is one mother. I'm not going to deny that. So anyway, the palace were very clear about HRH in 2020 when they were far too nice. The Sussexes will not use their HRH title. This is an official statement. It's in black and white. The Sussexes will not use their HRH titles as they are no longer working members of the royal family. A source close to the couple said the gift was personal, not commercial. So that's their excuse, right? Meghan is claiming, oh, it wasn't official. Just a little cute note to my friend, to my lovely little friend. Oh. It doesn't matter what the context is. You don't write HRH because you agreed not to use it, and you are not HRH. Now, do you remember we had this golden rule on the Mark Dolan show, which is I'm going to try, where possible, when my memory allows, that I'm never going to refer to the Princess of Wales as anything other than Princess Catherine. That is her name. Well, similarly, I will never use the term HRH for Meghan or Harry. And this program officially bans them from using that title. This show is a growing show. 1 million views in 10 days, all thanks to you. The numbers are through the roof. Why? Because of your incredible loyalty, your engagement, your comments. It's been the most magical journey so far, and I can only thank you. 4 months in, and we've got so much more to do. We've got months and years of truth bombs, of exclusives, of bombshell stories, not just royalty, showbiz, entertainment, politics, you name it. We're building a franchise. And therefore, this franchise is officially censuring the couple for using HRH. Okay, this is my official condemnation. Put that on record. Put that on the press release. I condemn the Duke and Duchess of Sussex for using the term HRH, which they agreed with Buckingham Palace to cease using. In fact, I'm issuing a cease and desist letter. I'd love to sue the Sussexes for doing that. Do you think I should sue them? I'm on YouTube. It's been 4 months. That's probably premature. But we can condemn, can't we? But it tells you everything you need to know about Meghan. It's on purpose. This isn't an accident. And it's not even her building her part and being more grand, although she obviously loves HRH. It's not that. It's a shot across the bows. This is Germany stepping into Poland. I mean, I know that's a dramatic example. I've probably gone too far, but welcome to my world. Look, what she's done, it is an act of war, though. She's torn up this agreement, and it's a family show, but the letter F and then YOU to King Charles and to the palace. That's what it is. It's a belligerent act. It is deliberate. Like everything Meghan does, it is as planned can be. And the problem is that it's really, really bad news for the H-bomb, who is sitting there absolutely furious, absolutely devastated. And he's upset. Now, Harry is used to this, okay, because Harry's been undermined in every aspect of his life since they met. First of all, have you noticed how she took over the Invictus Games? The Invictus Games is for injured service men and women whose bodies, they're missing limbs, their bodies don't work correctly. And yet, it was a couple of years ago, Meghan, in a white suit, like somehow the saviour, our collective saviour, in her white linen suit, strides ahead of the parade with her full body that correctly works, striding ahead of this parade of, knackered soldiers, right? And they're sort of ambling along with, you know what I mean? They're not in the best shape, okay? They're amazing people, but their body's not functional. Meanwhile, Meghan's striding along, sashaying along in her white linen suit, flicking her hair back like one of Charlie's angels. My head, strolling along, making the Invictus all about her. Was there anything that Harry could do about that? No, because this is a theme. What about the Netflix show when she mocked Queen Elizabeth, who is arguably the greatest, well, I don't think she's the greatest Briton ever. I'd give that to Shakespeare or Churchill. But she's up there, isn't she, Queen Elizabeth? And she dared to mock Queen Elizabeth on the Netflix thing, saying, oh, I had to curtsy and it was really embarrassing. And I had to kind of go, right? And Harry sat there next to her, crestfallen, like he wanted the earth to create a gigantic hole into which he could get sucked, okay? Because he doesn't get sucked that much these days. Family show, behave yourselves. Now, but the bottom line is, honestly, he looked like he wanted to disappear. That was the low point, surely, of his life. Well, no, losing Diana. Number two, though, his wife mocking Queen Elizabeth, who was almost sacred. That's how great a queen she was. What a fabulous, amazing lady. We should do a special on Queen Elizabeth, maybe the anniversary of her passing. So there was nothing he could do about her taking over Invictus and making it all about Meghan. By the way, which has brought Invictus into disrepute because so many of those soldiers can't stand Harry now because of the Harry and Meghan soap opera that's been attached to it. When you think of Invictus, you should think of the injured personnel, not H and lovely Meghan. So he couldn't do anything about Invictus, couldn't do anything about the curtsy, couldn't do anything about the fact that she set the tone early in the relationship. When she entered the royal fray, she was posing for selfies and hugged people, which is against royal protocol. She'd been told it was against royal protocol. She did it because she doesn't care. She is a bull in a china shop. She's a disruptor. She deliberately breaks rules and flouts them because it's all about Meghan, and she's sending a message. And that's what she's doing with HRH. She's sending a message to the palace and to King Charles. It's revenge, and the revenge will have no end because there is an insatiable desire on the part of this woman to get her own back and to destroy. Remarkably destructive human being. She's a wrecking ball. She posts images of Archie and Lilibet, right, whilst lecturing us about young people and social media, and they're all over social media. Do you think Harry likes that? Do you think Harry wants even the back of Archie or Lilibet's head in a Instagram image that's seen by tens of millions of people in one? Do you think the H-bomb wants that? He does not want that. He grew up in the glare of publicity. He was a world-famous child. He's a world-famous man. He hated it. And he went to California. He was promised that they would have privacy. But no, he's been pressurized into writing that ridiculous book, into doing the Netflix documentaries. None of it is anything that he wants to do. But she controls Harry. She has full control over the H-bomb. And then this business about, if you saw in yesterday's video, she sends her kids emails, which they won't get till they're 18. And it's all about them realizing how much their mother loved them, creating division between her and Harry. Again, does Harry like that? How does that make him feel? That she's sending these creepy late night emails. Hopefully she's not drunk on Pinot Grigio when she sends them. Because Meghan can put it away, let me tell you. She does like a drink. The only redeeming quality she's got in my book. Although always with drink with moderation, folks. So it is crazy. It's wild. And Harry is so angry. and there's nothing he can do about it. I'm sorry, H-bomb. You've made your bed. You're going to have to lie in it. Okay, so by the way, so we need to move on because I've got lots of things to tell you. But can I just say this HRH thing? It's also not one-off because she shared a letter from the Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine, which was addressed, Your Royal Highness, and it was actually addressed to Harry and Meghan. And she published that. Now, she should have known the Ukrainian guy, let's be honest, he's fighting war. He's got other things on his plate to be checking royal protocol. So he wrote that in error. Therefore, she shouldn't have repeated that or published it. But of course she did. And it's all on purpose. I want to quickly say, before I get to some other juicy stuff, Meghan says that she might write a book about hospitality. That's like Vladimir Putin writing a book about world peace. Don't you think? That's like Gandhi writing a book, well, he's no longer with us, about the carnivore diet. It's not going to happen. She's an expert on hospitality. A book about Meghan's hospitality, right, based on what she knows regarding homecraft and hospitality, it would be 100 blank pages, wouldn't it? I might buy it and I can just use it for shopping lists and journaling because it would be an empty book. She's also up for writing a second children's book after a book called The Bench, which no one read. I don't want a second children's book coming out. I don't want young people brainwashed by the twisted ideology of Duchess Difficult. But she has sowed the seeds for the personal memoir. She said, people are often curious about whether I'd write a memoir, but I've got a lot of life to live before I'm there. Okay, now what that is, folks, I've got a politics degree. You're welcome. University of Edinburgh. Thank you to my parents for bankrupting themselves, but I think you'll agree. Worth every penny. I mean, look at me. Right, stop. When you understand politicians, and Meghan is such a politician, she's highly political because everything is a message and it's a little control mechanism. Meghan has said that, and politicians say, I anticipate no circumstances in which I wish to become prime minister. What that means is I want to be prime minister, but I'm not going to tell you. So I've got a lot of life to live before I'm there. So a book is coming, okay? And here's the thing. She told The Cut magazine a couple of years ago, I've never had to sign anything that restricts me from talking, right? So she's got stuff in her head that she wants to say. She said, I can talk about my whole experience and make a choice not to. This is a shot across the bows. A Meghan book is coming. I think it will happen after the couple divorce. That's right. Because this book is her pension, right? It's like a piece of property. The longer she waits, the higher it will grow in value. And Harry got $20 million for spare. If she waits 5 years and divorces Harry, she'll get, this is my prediction, I know the media inside out, she'll get $50 million. She'll get $50 million for Meghan, my story. She'll get $50 million at the very least. And that's her pension. She'll be made for life. That is, even for Meg's, my husband. That is life-changing money. $50 million. Plus the divorce, she'll get a huge chunk of change from Harry, the H-bomb. California is very unkind to the men, I'm afraid. So it's not going to be good. Okay, let's get to this now, which is absolutely massive. It was exactly 14 years ago to the day, April the 29th, 2011, that William and Catherine were married at Westminster Abbey, becoming the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. What a day. What a source of celebration. 14 years, and what a marriage and what a story. So they celebrate. What they're doing, they're already embarked on a 2-day trip to the Isle of Mull in Scotland, which is absolutely beautiful. Thankfully, Scotland is still part of the United Kingdom. They didn't break away, which is a marvellous thing. And the Isle of Mull is jaw-droppingly beautiful. They've got whiskey, they've got haggis, they've got sheep, they've got the amazing kilts, the knitwear, they've got the history, the culture, the songs, the people, the rosy-cheeked, big-hearted Scottish characters. I can't know. Have I done a Scottish? I find it very difficult to do a Scottish accent. I'm not that good. I'll get absolute pelters from my Scottish viewers, from my attempt at the Scottish accent. Not great. No, there you go. We'll get back to drama school on that one. But I love Scotland. I spent 4 years there at the University of Edinburgh, which is the capital. What a city. Not the birthplace. Well, yes, the birthplace of Harry Potter, because J.K. Rowling, she created and wrote Harry Potter in a little cafe on Northbridge, which is now called the Elephant House. And I don't know what it was called when she used to write her books there, but she had a little notebook and it was a cafe. Anyhow, Scotland is a beautiful country. You've got Dundee, you've got Aberdeen, you've got Glasgow. It's got great cities, great wildlife, great nature, particularly the Highlands and the Islands. So that's where they are. It's going to be such a romantic setting because they'll go for windswept walks hand in hand. And it won't be forced like Harry and Meghan. And you know something that Catherine won't do? She won't leave William hanging when he reaches out for her hand, like Meghan did in New York last week. They're staying in a secluded, self-catered cottage. Can you imagine Meghan in a self-catered cottage? Can you imagine Meghan lowering herself, right? Her non-royal lowness, lowering herself to Airbnb. Good luck with that. I'm not staying here, Harry. I require 5-star accommodation. No, but you see, William and Catherine are down to earth. Considering their background, that's remarkable, but they are so happy in a self-catered cottage. And that will have a little fridge, okay, refrigerator. There will be a little kettle, maybe a stovetop kettle. There'll be a fireplace with a few bits of wood on the side. It's going to be basic, right? They might be in bunk beds with horrible sharp springs. There might be chickens in the garden. It's going to be an innocent scene. Look, I might be exaggerating. I'm sure the accommodation is nice, but it won't be the Ritz. It won't be the Waldorf Astoria. It'll be simple and it will be comfortable, and they will love it because they are keeping it real. Scotland holds deep significance for the couple. They, of course, met at St Andrews University, which is one of the finest universities in the world. And they regularly visit Scotland for holidays in Balmoral. Of course, the royal family love Scotland and love Balmoral. So let me take you through the timeline. They met at St Andrews in 2001, both studying art history. William later switched to geography at Catherine's suggestion. So she was already looking out for him and steering him in the right direction. So, because he wasn't happy doing history of art. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the most valuable. I mean, is it harsh to say it's not the most valuable degree? I mean, I guess you need to understand that. I shouldn't be too harsh, should I? If it interests you, no problem. But it doesn't strike me as the best use of William's talents, which is why Catherine was absolutely right to steer him towards geography. That's perfect for a king in waiting. His understanding of the natural world, his understanding of climate change and all that geography degree was absolutely the right move. And already Catherine's making a positive impact. They lived doors apart at St Salvador's Hall, fostering an early friendship. Then there was, in March 2002, the fashion show moment. Catherine wore a see-through lace dress at a charity fashion show. Okay. William was in the front row. He paid £200 for a ticket. Reportedly whispered, and this is a direct quote, family show, so avert your ears if you're of a delicate disposition. He said, "Wow, Catherine's hot." Nearly as hot as this decaf. By the way, quickly, when I started the show, I couldn't actually have any of this decaf because it was so murderously hot, because it's 100 degrees because there's no milk in it. It's cooled down now to something very swallowable. But can I just tell you that my mother, and if you have relatives like this or if you're like this, but my mother, who is Irish, and she's an amazing lady, she can have boiling hot tea. So you have the boiling water in the kettle, and then you've got the bag. The bag stays in for a while. She likes it strong. Comes out, a little small amount of milk. And then bang, she takes it and it's just straight down the hatch. Like boiling tea, just straight in. She has an asbestos mouth. And she's in great health. And I won't quote her age, but she's a very fine vintage. No health issues whatsoever with her boiling hot, crazily hotter than the surface of the sun tea. That's my mother. You see what it is, that generation, like Queen Elizabeth, of course, my mother is my queen. They're made of tougher stuff, aren't they? Not like my little lily-livered little mouth that needs everything slightly refrigerated. Not good. Anyway, there you go. By the way, be careful. That's not advice. Don't drink hot drinks straight down your mouth. That's a hazard. So that is not advice to do so, because it's very dangerous indeed. In 2002 to 2003, the couple had shared living. So they moved into a shared flat with friends Fergus Boyd and Olivia Bleasdale, strengthening their bond. So they're cohabiting now under one roof, at which point you can be pretty confident that romance blossomed, especially after a few drambuies, after a couple of Glenfiddicks, after a few pints of McEwen's 80. I would have thought that there were some flirtatious glances happening across the kitchen table. In April 2004, the relationship goes public. They were photographed together on a ski trip to Closters in Switzerland. How perfect. But then all hell breaks loose. In 2007, a royal separation. William feared commitment. He felt he was too young to settle down, you see. Catherine, head screwed on, grown up, already mature beyond her years, ready to settle down. Not William, who hadn't sown his wild oats. He felt too young to settle down. Also, Catherine faced media pressure. She was nicknamed Waity Katie for how long it was taking for Wills to put a ring on it. William focused on his military training, and Catherine worked in retail. Imagine buying a dress from Princess Catherine. I mean, that's an heirloom, isn't it? So you're not taking that to a thrift store when it doesn't fit you anymore, or a charity shop, or as I found out from my Australian viewers, in Australia, charity shops are called op shops because it's an opportunity shop, an opportunity to buy secondhand clothing. How great is the op shop? Fantastic branding. So they were separated. Catherine remained publicly resilient, attending events with her sister Pippa. But it was embarrassing. I mean, basically, she's dating the future king of the United Kingdom, and then she's not. And it's a bit annoying for her because now she's incredibly famous, but she hasn't got the benefit of the boy that made her famous. So all the fame, none of the perks. William enjoyed his social freedom, often spotted partying, but in July 2007, they were reunited at a costume party. Don't worry, the costume wasn't controversial like Harry. There were no figures from the Second World War recreated. Catherine's presence at the concert for Diana confirmed their reconciliation. So they reunited at a costume party. Catherine goes to the concert for Diana, at which point it's back on, and they never looked back. Reflections on the breakup, William described it as a time for finding ourselves. We probably tried to find some other women as well, I would have thought, at that time. Don't know if he did, but maybe he found himself. Catherine admitted it was a tough time, but said it made her stronger. Of course it did. You see, that's the thing about relationships. Sometimes a really big break early on and then a reconciliation means that it's stronger than ever. It's like a bone, isn't it? You know that when a bone breaks, if it's a clean break, when you stick it back together, it knits thicker and stronger than it was before. Well, that is their relationship. In October 2010, William proposed in Kenya with Princess Diana's sapphire ring, arguably the most iconic ring in the history of the United Kingdom. And she wears it to this day. They got married on April the 29th, 2011, Westminster Abbey, billions of people watching around the world. And it was so great. Kate wore a £250,000 Alexander McQueen gown. She paused to wave to crowds with confidence and purpose. She was just 29 years old, but many have pointed out that compared to Diana, therefore, she was more experienced and ready for the role. So it's a wonderful thing. It was a great wedding. We all remember it. It was a national occasion and it was an international occasion too. And who could forget the balcony kiss? It was a playful kiss followed by a second kiss. We got double bubble. Apparently it was encouraged by William, who said, let's give them another one. And then he said, I love you. After the reception, Catherine changed into a robe and rewatched the ceremony with William and Harry when they were still close. Diana, in contrast, felt isolated and overwhelmed on her wedding night. There is such a contrast between Charles and Diana's wedding and William and Catherine's. And I think that's why William's been such a loving husband, is because he wants to make sure not to make the mistakes that his father made with his own mother. Anyway, it's been the love affair of the century. Marriage and family life is as strong as anything. A strong equal partnership, balancing royal duties and hands-on parenting for their 3 stunning children. Mutual agreement on schedules and decisions to prioritize family time, including skipping the royal Easter service so they could be together with the kids. That's the right thing to do. William is protective of Catherine, particularly shutting down any patronizing behavior towards her. He shows a deep commitment to ensuring one parent is always present for school runs and children's activities. What they've done is it's a well-oiled machine, and they make sure that the kids are number one, which is how it should be. His bond with Catherine was strengthened in 2012 when French paparazzi published a photograph of Catherine without her top on. What a disgrace. I mean, the French. I love France as well. La belle France, comment ça va? J'espère que tu vois aujourd'hui le programme Le Marc Dolan Show. Bienvenue au Le Marc Dolan Show. De bière, s'il vous plaît. J'ai soif. Look, I love France, but it was disgusting of the French paparazzi to publish a almost nude photograph of our lovely future queen. How dare they? William's reaction, jaw-clenched fury during a Malaysian tour. Felt he'd failed to protect her, recalling media harassment faced by his own mother, Diana. Catherine remained, of course, graceful and unflustered publicly. But the episode reinforced William's protective instincts and deepened their bond. And of course, we know that the loss of Elizabeth and Philip, and of course, most recently, Catherine's battle with cancer, has brought them even closer together. When they're out, they exchange glances. Did you know that they match up their outfits? So he'll wear a tie that matches her dress. And they've got like the outdoor gear when they're in the countryside and it's cold. She's got her Barber jacket, and then he's also got his waxed jacket, and the synergy is off the charts. And they love each other. It's an incredible thing. They've got 3 children. They will be looking after the whole of the entire British Empire in a few years' time. When Charles passes, they will be king and queen. Let me tell you that it's a match made in heaven. It is the ultimate love story. And like all love stories, it's been bumpy and there will be bumps ahead. But it's my view that this relationship, A, will go from strength to strength. They'll be an incredible king and queen. But also, William and Catherine secure the monarchy for the next 100 years. And I'll tell you for why. No, they're not going to live 100 years. Well, from now, they're not, sadly. But they've got the 3 kids as well. And based on those family values and the coherency of this whole project headed up by William and Catherine, then you're looking at generation after generation after generation of royal success, royal popularity, royal continuity. The monarchy's safe for a century thanks to William and Catherine, which is why I, and I'm sure alongside all of you, toast to their very good health on their 14th wedding anniversary. Enjoy, and don't worry about that pair of attention-seeking numpties in Montecito, California, because you're demonstrating what a real marriage looks like, what a real relationship looks like, and what real love looks like. God bless the pair of you. Okay, folks, it's been great to talk. It's highly likely there will be a video tomorrow because there's so much news at the moment. But just to cover yourselves, please subscribe, hit the reminder bell so that you get alerted when a video drops. And please like as well. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Go and have a great day.